Hey, how's it going, folks? The name's Steffi, and welcome back to another episode of my solo RPG playthrough of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition homebrew module, Palace of the Fire Oracle by Adventure Away Studios. Okay, so in the last episode, our party managed to defeat two cultist fanatics, and it was a tough fight for Masher. Masher is currently unconscious, but stable. He went to 0 hit points, basically, after tanking I don't know how many dagger attacks. Well, luckily enough, they did manage to secure him, but he's unconscious. So the question is, what's the party going to do? Are the party going to continue without him and then collect him on a later date? Are they going to take a short rest and try and get him back up, or they're going to take him outside and do a long rest? That's the question. Now, in terms of the unconscious mechanic, if I'm not mistaken, I believe. Hold on, that's the wrong one, I believe, isn't it? Just 1 second, please. Just 1 second. Yep, that's the right one. Yes, I believe that the unconscious clears up after 1d4 hours, I believe. And where it drops and all its own, I should check rolls have advantage. Oh no, it's not unconscious, it's incapacitated, that's right. Incapacitated. Cannot take any more actions. Oh, that's odd. I'm sure I read up that it takes like 1d4 hours for them to wake back up, something like that. I'm sure it did. But anyway, so, well, what I'll do is I'll do a 1d4 and that determines how many hours it gets him back on his feet. So we'll do that first. Let's do 1d4. Let's see how many hours it takes for him to get back on his feet. 4. Okay, so it's going to take him 4 hours. So the party sort of look at Masher and realize, I guess, we stabilized him with the heals, okay, he's stable, but they think he might be out for a long time. So we're going to ask the question. So we're going to ask a couple of questions. First of all, does the party go to rest? No, they don't. They don't go to rest. So they don't go to rest. Okay. So obviously the other three are looking at each other and think, yes, we're low in healing, but we need to go and get as much of this place done as possible. So, do they leave Masher in the room? Yes, they do. Okay, so they leave Masher. So basically, the other three sort of look at Masher and think, okay, so he's secured. This room seems secured. I don't think anyone's going to come in. They sort of just pull him to a corner and basically leave him. And then 3 of the party members carry on forward. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. So much for teamwork. So we know that Masher's going to come back to 1 HP in 4 hours. So we need to remember that. Okay, so basically, the way I'm kind of like doing time, I'm kind of thinking like maybe like each room is like 10 minutes of real time. So we'll remember that now. So basically, as soon as they go into this room and see what this is, that'll be 10 minutes, I would say. So, okay then, right. So, the party is going to move forward. So, the party's going to move forward. So, what direction do they take? Do they go up or do they go to the right? Okay, so they go upwards. Okay, so who's going to lead the party now? So we're going to do a bunch of D3s until we find out who is what. So Dunas, our wizard, will be 1, Krolix, our bard, will be 2, and Brolic will be ranger of 3. Okay, so Dunas is leading, followed by Krolix, and then Brolic at the back then. Okay, so it's going to be like this then, sort of thing. Right, so they're heading up into the next room then. Okay, right, so they're heading up into the next room. So let's switch over to the module. And they're heading to room number 11 next. Okay, so room number 11. Let's have a look. Okay, Center Shrine. So, the small room is blistering hot. It has shrines to the resident god embedded to the western wall. The room is unbearably hot. Anyone in heavy armor must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, or else gain a level of exhaustion. Excuse me. Magma Mephits. Got an encounter with Magma Mephits. There are 3 Magma Mephits in this room. They attack anyone who tries to cross it, dislike the cold hallway to the north, and will pursue the characters if they head that way. Okay, then, right. So, I'm going to say that the door is closed. And we know that there's an encounter here. 3 fire methods, magma methods. So, let's ask a couple of questions. Sorry, let me bring this back. Sorry. So, as I said, so we know that this room is an encounter room, but these guys don't know that. So, let's do a couple of questions. First of all, does Dunnis listen to the other side of the door? 18, he does. Okay, right. If that's the case, then, oh yeah, we need to get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of all of that. And get rid of, and then we'll get rid of this as well. Perfect. Okay, so, okay, so still has false life in him. I don't think it's been quite an hour yet. Maybe close, but maybe after this next fight, his false life will wear off. So he goes in and listens. Right, so his perception is a +1, or a plus exclamation mark in this case, but +1. Also thinking. Okay, so we're going to do a d20 +1. 4. Okay. Now, with a 4, now because I was just doing a DC of 10, but with a 4, he doesn't hear anything. Doesn't hear anything. Now, obviously, he goes close to the door, but he realizes an intense heat coming from the door. So now we're going to ask another question. So, Dunnis doesn't hear anything, turns around to Krolix and Brovik, gives an okay sign that he doesn't hear anything. But the intense heat is coming towards him, he seems uncomfortable, so the question is, does the party still go in? No, they don't. Okay, so in this case, they go forward and realize that it's too hot, we might come back to it. So by process of elimination, I want to say they're going to come back to here. Of course, leaving Masha where he is. Right. Now, that way is going back to the main room, and then down here is the next room. So, I'm going to ask a question. So, without resorting to 1 or 2, we're going to ask the question, do they check the passage on the right, since they know the passage to the left is going back to the main hall? 3, they don't. Okay, so they're going back up the way. So that was, so I'm going to say that this was kind of like 10 minutes or something. So they're going to come back here, like so. They're going to go back to the, they're going to go back to the hall that they were at. Now, obviously, this entire area has a DC 13 acrobatic check if they're moving above half movement to avoid them from slipping, but obviously just take the time, so that's fine. Okay, so they come across this intersection. Now, they know to the right that there is some chance in here and a huge heat source from in here. So they decide to leave these two alone. So now they have the choice of going left or to going north. So let's see what direction they're going. Let's do a D2, 1 to the left, 1 north, 2. Okay, so they're going north. Okay, so they head northwards. Okay, so let's see what room this is. So this is room number 18, so let's switch over to the PDF. Number 18, so look. Okay, so 18, flooded chamber. The chamber is completely flooded. Is it possible to determine what it was previously used for? A thin layer of frost covers the walls and the water surface is particularly frozen. So same thing as before, DC 13 acrobatic check or fall prone, and there's 3 ice methods. Hiding under the ice to do not attack unless provoked. Okay then, right. So we're going to do a D20. Does Dunnis listen to the door? He doesn't. Okay. So he doesn't listen to the door. Okay. Obviously, it doesn't feel that it's hot. It feels like it's cold this time. So the question is, does he still go in? He does. Okay, so he still goes in. Okay, so without caring the world, Dunnis comes into the room, like so, followed by Krolix, and followed by Brovik. So obviously, they feel that there's a thin layer of ice, they see the water underneath, and they They don't really, so what am I for? Sorry. So they see the thin layer of ice, and then they have to be extremely careful. Now, here's the question. Now, we know there's ice methods in here. So, obviously, the book says they don't attack unless provoked. So, the question is, does the ice methods know the party's there? They do. So they know, so the ice methods know that the party's there. Now, the question is, does the party know that the ice methods are there? 14, they do. Okay, so obviously looking down, they see the ice methods under the ice. They look up, they look down, make eye contact. Doris freezes and says to the other two enemies, ready yourselves. Now, even though it says not provoked, basically, because they've seen each other, standoff happens, so methods can be quite territorial. So I'm going to say that these methods, I'm going to say that these methods are quite territorial. But the best question I can ask is, did the ice methods hear the battle in the previous hall ages ago? They didn't. Okay, so that's good. So the other question is, do the ice methods act territorial? They do. So they act territorial. So you see the ice methods jeering and like, try and maybe scare them off. So the question is, does the ice methods attack the party? They don't. So basically, they're being very territorial. Now, does the party attack the ice methods? They don't. Okay, so obviously that's very territorial. Now, the big question is, does the party go back out the way they came from? Or did they go across? Does the party go across? As a reroll, they do. Okay, so the party... So obviously, they see this. I'm going to say that the ice methods are probably here-ish. That's where I would put them. So Dunnas is sort of looking at them. He's got his quarterstaff ready. Krollik is like, I don't know, he's got his daggers ready, and Krollik's got his bow ready. And they they slowly go across the ice, like so. Brought here, I think. Now, obviously, they're about halfway through. Ice methods are still jeering, very, very territorial. The guys are moving very slowly to the other side of the door. Do the ice methods attack? They still don't. Okay. So, Dunnas gets to the door. Brovik still got his bow out. Krollik still has his two daggers out. Or a dagger or something. When he gets to the next door. So, this one here. Oh, sugar. I forgot about that. I am so sorry. Yeah, so to get to here, as I mentioned, they just slowly start moving in. I apologize about that. I hate that so much. So, yeah, so as I mentioned, the ice methods are here under the water. They're being very territorial. The rest of the guys are just slowly moving in. Dunnas with his quarterstaff pointed. Krollik with his bow and arrow, and Krollik's with his daggers, being ready, but they're not attacking. And he gets to this door. Right, now we go back to the module. Because this next room is room number 14. So, room number 14 is the worship chamber. So the room is partially flooded, the remains of the benches float in the water. This is where the clergymen pray to Volkar on a daily basis. Trap, unstable roof. The stones above the door have come loose. When the door is open, whoever opens it must succeed a DC 13 saving throw, taking 2d10 bludgeoning damage on a failure or half as much on a success. Oh god. Okay, now this is where things will get a little bit interesting, to say the least. So, this is where things get a little interesting. Okay, so Dunnas gets to the door. Does Dunnas give a quick listen? He doesn't. Okay, does Dunnas open it? He doesn't. Okay. Now, the reason why he doesn't, does he notice the loose rubble above the door frame? He does. Okay, so he notices it. So he's about to open it, stops, looks up, notices that. Well, obviously the trap doesn't, no, the module doesn't say that the trap is hidden and requires an investigation check or anything, so I'm just going to say that he notices it. Now, this is where a lot of questions come into. So he notices it. Okay, so he notices it. So he tells the other two, there's a loose door here with rubble, and he'll fall down if we open it. So the question is, does he use his quarterstaff to push the door open? He does. Okay. So he uses it to open it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say that this door has an AC of 12. Donis is going to make an attack roll to push it open. If it beats a 12, the door opens and the trap springs down regardless. So we'll do that. So Donis is going to do just a quarterstaff prod attack. Just, basically just using the very edge of his quarterstaff to extend it forward, giving him a little bit of extra, 7.5 reach or whatever. Okay, 1d6 plus 3 for the attack roll. Okay, so d20 plus 3. So it needs to be a 12. 7. Okay, so he pushes it forward. He jams the quarterstaff into the door. The door does not budge. Now, because of this, does the ice method see this as an aggressive action? They do. They see this as an aggressive action. So because of this, I'm going to say, do the ice methods attack? Now, what I'm also going to do is, I'm going to add a +2 modifier to this, to say that it's most likely that they're going to attack. And they do. So the ice methods attack. So the ice methods attack them. So basically, if the guys weren't prepared for this, which they already have, they know the ice methods are there, they're doing a standoff. If they weren't, I was going to let the ice methods attack using doing a surprise round, but because they know they're there, they're going to attack. So, and that's going to be the start of the counter. 3 on 3 this time, while Masha is just incapacitated in another room. This will be interesting. Right, okay, so I've set the encounter up, and I've also calculated HP and initiative. So this is the initiative will say this. So Brolic is acting on 23, Ice Method is acting on 13, Don is 12, Ice Method is 10, 3 is 10, Ice Method 2 or 4, and Krolix rolled a 2, but because of his -2 dexterity, he has an initiation of the 0. That is the first time I've ever seen that happen. Mental. Okay, so Ice Method 1 is 25, Ice Method 2 is 16 and 18, and there's one thing I forgot to do when I was just about to jump in here, was to actually give them what they are. So I'm going to say that this is going to be 3, it's going to be Ice Method 1, that's going to be Ice Method 2. Right, so the problem is that this could lead, so basically this is a 3 on 3. Now, the problem is we've already faced these ice methods before, and with ice methods, they have Fog Cloud they can do, they can summon, they have that, but most importantly, they have their Fog Breath attack, Frost Breath attack, which is here, so 2d4 cold damage. There is a massive, and Ice Burst as well, so if they die, dexterity save on anyone within 5 feet. I'll take, 1d8 slashing damage? Yeah. I don't know which way this is going to go. I don't know which way this is going to go. So, also as well, Masha is not incapacitated. Yeah, Masha's incapacitated. He is, 0 HP, but has been stabilized and he's conscious. So this should go very interesting. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so Brovik. So Brovik's action list is that he's going to cast Hunter's Mark and then attack anyone that's flying, but they're not really flying, just hovering below his HP. The foe's nearest attack, that's the nearest. But the problem is he is completely... No, he's not out of spell slots just yet. That's right, so he can do bonus. Okay, right, so for his bonus action, he's going to cast Hunter's Mark on the person that's got the highest HP. In this case, it's going to be Ice Method 1, so let me go HM, so I know. And then, let me see where Bingy is. Yeah, he's concentrating. No, we don't. Lasts for an hour, doesn't it? Is it concentration? No. Boarding wand isn't concentration, is it? I don't think it is. No, I do not believe it is concentration. Let me just double check that. I don't think it is concentration. Let me just double check that. I need... No, I don't need that. One, I need the other one open. Just 1 second, please. I'll be 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, then you go over here and then... Warding... Is it warding bond? Yeah, warding bond. I don't think it is concentration, isn't it? No, it's not concentration, but I would say that, let's see, we casted it... Let's see, let me think. So, we did cast it here. We did 4 rounds, so that's 4 minutes. Each room is 10 minutes, that's what I'm saying. So that's... Because we'll stabilize and everything, so I'm going to say that's 24. We didn't come into here, because that's where the ice fire methods are. We came back around, so that's 34, 44, 54. And then coming into here, we probably wasted about 5 minutes. So I'm going to say that Warden Bond has been taken off by now. So Warden Bond is gone. Oh yeah, +1 saving for us, that's what that is. So it's back down to 16 AC. Yeah, 16 arrows. That's right, because we did pick up some, didn't we? 16 arrows. Okay, so he's done that. So this is his last spell slot, so there's a bonus action, so he's concentrating. And now he's going to attack the lowest ice method, which will be ice method 2, I suppose. Which would be this one here. Now, it's just a flat... Yeah, it's just a flat hit. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is we want to roll a 1d20 plus 6. Okay, so d20 plus 6 for the attack. 16, that is a hit, because the ice method's AC is... Sorry. Yeah, the ice method AC is 11, so that's going to be just flat 1d8 piercing plus 6. So 1d8 plus 6, dealing 7 piercing damage. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So an ice method 2, so that's going to be 7 points of damage. So 16 comes down to 9. We really needed a big hit there, but that's it. Okay, and that's Brovic's turn. So ice method 1. So ice method 1 here, obviously being, you know, obviously with the whole standoff in the beginning of this episode, obviously Dunas's failed attack or failed prod of the door to try and unleash the rubble trap so they can move forwards was seen as an aggressive action. So yeah, we're coming in now. Okay, right. So first of all, combat start, 1 day per day. So summon methods. So 25% chance to summon a 1d4 ice methods. Now, I did say that we weren't going to do this, but I feel like any DM would probably do that, I think. What did DM do that? Like normal DM? No, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that, just because I think it's just a bit balanced this way. Okay, so let's see. So basically, +2 groups together. Fog cloud creates 20% speed heavy fog. Do they have some kind of dark vision? Okay, so they don't have dark vision. So, okay, right. So basically, this one here is going to cast fog cloud since these guys are grouped together. So, shape. So just to show what fog cloud is, we already used it at the beginning of this playthrough. So you create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners and the area is heavily obscured. Lasts for the duration until a wind of moderate greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, disperses it. So basically, that means that heavy obscurement. I mean, you can get it up. Heavy obscurement. No, really? Obscure. Basically, it means that your field of vision is limited, and any attack that's going in or going out is with disadvantage unless you have a special sight that allows you to see through heavy obscurement. So yeah, so that's what's going to happen. So let's go with no, I need a 3D shape. I need a circle. So basically centered behind. So that probably means that centered on a point. I'm going to say about 1 second, let me make that 3D. So I'm going to say probably about here. So basically anyone in here, meaning that they can't see on the outside, but any attacks going in, they can't see. So basically that is Ice Mephit's 1's turn. Yes, I believe so. Okay, so that's Ice Mephit's 1's turn. Okay, so next to Dunas. Right, so Dunas, self before combat or first round of combat casts False Life. Now, False Life is an hour. No, it's not. It's 8 hours, sorry. And he still has his full temporary hit points at 8, so he doesn't have to do that. Still surrounded by 2 enemies or in critical danger. We don't need to do that. Ally, friendly melee striker, using dance. Yeah, we already did that. Rated distance of 20% Gordon Rush, adjacent to a hazard. And within 5 feet, attack with quarterstaff. Since we have no cancerous, we don't have that. But we can use rituals. Okay, right. So, Dunas obviously just happens, realizing what's going on, doesn't know what's happening, but he does see that he can probably step outside. So basically, he's going to take 5 foot to the left here. So he's standing outside the fog, realizes what's going on over here, sees the other two. And obviously he's going to take a attack against this Ice Mephit here, which is Ice Mephit 3. Okay then, right, so with the quarterstaff, we need to do 1d... I'm going to do 1d 20 plus 3, so d20 plus 3. Got to be an 11. 18, yep, that hits. Two-handed attack, so that's going to be a 1d8 plus 3, dealing 6 points of damage. However, the Ice Mephits are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage, so this means that they take double damage. So this 6 has been increased to 12. That's a great hit. So Ice Mephit 3 is now down from 18 to 6 health. So that's 2 really strong attacks. Okay, now does he want to do a bonus action? I'm going to say, hold on. Don't use your core staff, yet two-handed. You can use a bonus action. Okay, Corn Rush. Lightly Pat, Grease Authority, we don't have that, unfortunately. He could use his Gorn Strike, I suppose, like, you know, bonus action to move him 10 feet. That's what we could do, but there's somebody in the way, so I don't see the point in that. Okay, right, so that'll be done as a turn. Okay, so next up is Ice Mephit 3. This is where things get dangerous. So, Ice Mephit 3. Okay, grouped. A 2 in range, Frost Breath, 15.2d4 cold, 10 dex save. So, from his position, there is 2 people. There's 2 people in range, so yeah. So he's going to use his Frost Breath. Okay, let me make that 3D. Do that. Flip it around. And then I'm going to say that I'm going to say that 15 feet would probably be something along the lines of that. I'd probably say maybe a bit more than that actually. But basically, they're both in range anyway, so it's going to be Krolux and Rolovic. So they need to make a successful DC 10 dexterity save. So we'll start with Krolux first. So Krolux's dex save is actually supposed to be a -2. Don't know why that's a 0. Let me change that. I hope I've been doing -2 for his dex saves. Yeah, it needs to be a -2, not 0. Okay then, right. So it needs to be a 10. Christ, here we go. Okay. D20 -2. Okay, so he beats it. Good. Oh, spit. Sorry. I forgot about this. I don't know how long that's been like that for. God damn it, I keep getting... Right, so yeah. So let me reiterate. So yeah, so basically I moved Dunas up here to attack here. Apologise. Big apologies. Attacked with the quarterstaff. And then I did the range sort of here with Brolix and Kroluk caught in the Frost Breath. I severely apologise, and then there's the dex save. I did say it was 0, I'll change it to -2. I apologise about that. I keep forgetting about that. I really need to think about this whole switching between things. Or get in the habit of actually get on the bloody thing. Ah man, you can only do so much, can you? Okay, anyway, so Brolovic's dex save is a d20 +6. Okay, that's fine then. Right, so d20 +6, gotta be a 10. But it does. Over 20. Nice. Dirty 20. Nice. Okay, right. So they both succeeded. So this means that they take half damage on their save. So half damage, sorry. So we need to take, so it's 2d4. Okay, let's see. So 2d4. They take, oh, nice. They only take 1 point of cold damage each. Beautiful. Wow, that cannot be any better. Okay, so this brings Krolix down from 21 to 20. I should really write at the top, actually, should I? I should do, it's fine. And then this brings Brovik down from 20 to 19. Okay, perfect. Look, that was a lucky ducky. And then what I need to do is I need to go, okay, we could do it here. So we put NF, no frost, just so I know. So that's Ice Method 3 then, that's done that. Okay, so next is Ice Method 2. So Ice Method 2 is going to do the exact same thing. Let's see, have I got, yes I have. Okay, so yeah, so they're going to do the exact same thing. Let's get this up. Make 3D. I mean, it's not the correct template, but yeah, you know, way within range. Okay, so we're going to do that again then. So let's go saves first. So D20 minus 2, going to be a 10. Just, oh my god. And then a D20 plus 6. Oh my god, bro, it doesn't. Oh fuck, so they're going to take full damage. So he's going to take full damage. Okay, right, so that is 2 points of cold damage on Krolix. Jeez, oh man. Okay, so he's down from 20. Okay, so yeah, so basically whenever it's on a 0.5, you always round it down. So that's from 20 to 18 health. And then Rollick takes the full 9, bringing him down to 14. I think we need to go for a long rest soon, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, right, and then that's going to be Ice Method 1, 2 turn. So we're going to do the same thing here. So, no frost. Oh, by the way, Ice Method 1 is concentrating, by the way, so I need to put that down. So, let's see. Fog. Okay, right. So, after Ice Method 3, I was 2. Next is Krolix. Okay, right. So, Krolix, let's see what he can do. Okay, so ally 20% potion healing. We don't have any anymore. Self-fall and unconscious heals kits. We did. Cast aid. Yeah, he could have casted aid, I suppose. But he, yeah. Oh no, one person. Yeah, but I think we're all out of yeah, I think we're all out of level 2 spell slots, aren't we? But we're not used any level 1s yet. Okay, we're up by our inspirations, self and melee range, earth tremor. I think I could use an earth tremor actually. But that's only in self and melee range. Group of 3 or more bait. That'll do. And because there's a group of 3. That might come in handy actually because there's a group of 3 here. So, but obviously he needs line of sight, so he's going to take one to the right. He sees him, so he's going to cast the, so Krolix is going to cast the Bane spell. So, to bring the thing back up. So, Bane. Okay, so concentration for 1 minute, range 30 feet. Up to 3 creatures of your choice can see within range must make a charisma saving throws. Whenever a target fails, the saving throw makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends. The target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack roll or saving throw. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Right, so we need to do 3 charisma saving throws then, okay? So let's do that first. Okay, so charisma saving throws, I believe, is just a +1. Okay, that is fine. Okay, so we need to do a +1. But Krolix's DC is an 11. Okay, that's fine. So it's 20 plus 1. Gonna be an 11. Alright, so let's see what happens here. 3 of them. So D20 plus 1. This is Ice Method 2. Succeeds. Ice Method 2. Fails. and Ice Method 3 fails. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. Perfect. Right. So then we're going to put... okay, so I'm going to put Bane. Bane. And then for Krolok, I need to put... let me put a big C for concentration. And I'm going to put Bane underneath. There we go. Right, so that's going to be his turn then. Okay, with that, we've done round 1. And now we're going to go to round 2 now. Okay, so Brovik. Back to Brovik. So Brovik, as you can see, is in the middle of the fog. He has no targets. So what he's going to do is he is going to move into here. So he's going to move into 5 feet. Yeah, so he's going to move into 5 feet. So now he's in melee range. Now, the way ranged attacks work is when you're in melee range, or, well, I don't know how it works. I've seen different versions of it. So if you make a ranged attack while in melee distance, when you have an enemy within melee distance to you, and you target the same enemy with a melee, you roll with disadvantage. But I've seen it where if you have somebody in melee range against you and make a ranged attack on a different target, I've seen that being disadvantaged as well. I don't know what the official ruling is, but I don't know. I don't know what the official ruling is, but basically we're just going to follow the the usual concept. If you have an enemy in melee and you're a ranged fighter, you fall back to your melee weapon. As in here. So attack nearest, any attack rapier, get off me baseline. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're going to do. But because we have Hunter's Mark, I'm going to say that Brovik's going to use his rapier attack against Ice Method 2 in order to take advantage of that. So that's what we're going to do. So his rapier attack is the same as a longbow. It is a d20 plus 6 and it's a 1d8 plus 6 piercing. But let's get this hit first. So d20 plus 6. That is just a hit. That is just a hit compared to the 11. So basically Brovik just comes stumbling out the fog, draws his rapier because he doesn't know if there's anyone in close range, just comes outside of the fog. I know a lot of people will probably say, oh, but this is still in the fog and it'll be with disadvantage, but no. Because he's coming forward to the edge to strike, he can see his opponent. So yeah, so basically that's a hit. So that is going to be 1d8 piercing plus 6 plus 1d6 on Hunter's Mark, dealing 17 points of damage. Not bad. 17 points of damage, leaving them with 8 hit points. And then what we need to do is we need to do a concentration check onto the Ice Method 1 to see if they continue concentrating on Fog Cloud. So we need to do just a flat d20, and on a 10 or above, it keeps concentration, which he does. Right, that's fine then. Okay, so that's Brovik's turn. So next is Ice Method 1. Okay, right, so at this point, Ice Method 1. Now, going off this, he could do... at this point, he could do a Frost Breath, but I don't think... Probably could do that, actually. Could he do that? Is that the question? So let me see this. Make 3D. Turn it around. Could he do that? Yeah, he could do that. Okay, right. So he's going to use his Ice Breath on Brovik and Dunas and the Ice Method 1. Just want to check something. Okay, so yes, so that's actually pretty good because they're immune to cold damage. So even if they fail to save, they get immune to damage anyway. So that is actually pretty clever. Okay, right. So we don't need to make a save for him, for the other one. Doesn't make a difference. Not taking any damage. Okay, right. So Dunas, I need to do d20 plus 3. Be a 10, I think it is. Is it a 10? Remind me, is it a 10, please? My friending, is it a 10, please? What is it? See ya. Yeah, DC 10. So we need to do a d20 plus 3. for Dunas, to which he gets a 21, perfect, and then d20 plus 6 on Brovik, to which he succeeds as well. So they take half damage from it, and they take 2 points of cold damage. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. So this becomes 6 temporary hit points because, you know, false life, and then Brovik takes another 2 points of cold damage, bringing him down to 12. Jeez, oh man, that is, yeah, that's dangerous. Right, and then from here, we're going to put no frost. And then we need to do a d6 to refresh that. Okay, right, so Ice Method 1 is done, so next is Dunas. So, okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so Dunas is going to take another melee attack against Ice Method 1. So we need to do a d20 plus 3. Which he misses. Swing and a miss. Swings. So he tries swinging the Ice Method. The Ice Method just dodges out of the way, and the quarterstaff hits the side of the wall. Okay, so that's out of the way. Okay, so next is Ice Method 3. Okay, so Ice Method 3, we need to do a recharge onto the Frost Breath. So let's do a d6. That is a 1, so no Frost Breath. So we're going to have to go to the claw attack nearest. So in this case, I'm going to say Krolix, I think. Yep, that's going to be hard. Lovely. Okay, right, so... Oh god, look at this. 1d4 slashing plus 1d4 cold damage. Okay, right, so that is a plus 3 to attack. And the AC is 8. Okay then. Right, here we go. So that is d20 plus 3, but because he's under the effects of Bane, that's going to be a minus 1d4. Okay, 4 misses. Perfect. So try swinging, but the effects of Bane kicks in, and he ends up missing. Wow, that's lucky. Do they have multi-attack or anything? I don't think so. No, it's just one attack. It is. Perfect. Okay, so that's Ice Method's free turn. Okay, Ice Method 2 is going to attack Dunas. So, let's see. Dunas is under an AC of 13. So, same as before, because the other one's under the effect of Bane. So, that's going to be d20 plus 3 minus 1d4. For a 19, doesn't matter. Plus 3 minus 3. That's a hit. So that's going to be 1d4 slashing plus 1d4. So that's going to be 1d4 plus 1 plus 1d4 cold damage for 4 points of slashing and 2 points of cold damage. So 7 damage altogether will... So that'll take away the temporary hit points down to 0, and that will remove the 18 to 17, because it's 7 damage, 6 takes away from the temporary hit points, and then 1 from the main current hit points. So that's his turn. That's stupid, because you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to recharge the breath attack, to which they wouldn't have got it anyway. That's completely fine. Okay, so after Ice Method 2 attack, that'll be Krolix next. So Krolix is going to... Let's see. We do have Earth Tremor. I suppose Earth Tremor could work. Self melee in... Yeah, self enemy in melee range. Okay, right. So let's see what... Earth Tremor will do then. So Earth Tremor. Okay. You cause a tremor. Okay, so it's range 10 feet. You cause a tremor on the ground within range. Each creature other than you in the area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and it knocked prone. If the ground in that area is loose earth or stone, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared, with each 5-foot diameter portion requiring at least 1 minute of clear by hand. Okay, right, so it's 10 feet. Interesting. 10 feet radius. So obviously, he's going to cast it. And at this point, obviously 10 feet. Probably say 10 feet. Maybe about here, I'd probably say. Wait, that's 5. No, that'd be 10, wouldn't it? That would be 10. So about here? No, I'm probably going to say he's going to cast it about here, I think. Because remember, you can cast beyond the walls. So, yeah, so he's going to cast it here then, I think. Yeah, okay. Right, so... Oh, sorry, sugar. I keep forgetting. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go, sorry. Yeah, so he's going to cast it here. So obviously affects it needs to because you can put the origin of the spell beyond walls. As far as I'm aware. Obviously, if that's wrong, please correct me. I mean, it doesn't say a point you can see, as far as I'm aware, in the wording. Okay, let me just see that again. Each creature of the new... Oh, you cause a tremor in the ground within reach, which is within reach. Okay, that's fine. It's 1d6. Okay, so... Krolix's spell DC is 11. Okay, so they need to make a dexterity saving throw. So it's d20 plus 1. Okay, so Ice Method. So Ice Method 2, gotta be 11. Doesn't. And Ice Method 1 has... Sorry, Ice Method 3. This is Ice Method 1. Well, they both fail. They both fail, which is amazing. So... Shit. So, yeah. So, they both fail, which is brilliant. So, let me just do... let me just put one slot expended. So, they both... Just hold on. I just want to check. Is that concentration? It isn't. It's instantaneous. Okay, that's brilliant. So, they both fail. So, they both take full damage. Fail save, creature takes 1d8. It's not prone. That's fine. Because you know what the beautiful thing is? We'll do the 1d6. 3 points of damage, but because it's bludgeoning damage, it's doubled, meaning 6. And with Elizabeth's Hope, which I don't think so, actually. Okay, that's good. So 6 damage. So Ice Method 3 is completely taken out. And Ice Method 1 is down onto 2 HP. That is not bad. Okay, so Ice Method 3 has been taken out. Ice Method 1 is prone, unless it's to say that they fly. I don't think so. Okay, they got a flying speed of 30. They got a flying speed of 30. But I mentioned it came out of the ice. I never mentioned about them actually flying already. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say that they weren't flying because they were underneath the ice, so obviously they must have keep through, standing on the ice. There we go then. Okay, we'll do it that way then. Let's call a little bit of, let's call a spade, shall we? Alright, pro. Okay then, right, so that was Krolix's turn. Beautiful, so that's cleared that up. Okay, so, right then. So next up is Rovik. Alright, sorry about that folks, I forgot to do an outro for this episode, so I'm going to do one now. So anyway, thank you very much for watching today's episode. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And apart from that, enjoy the rest of your awesome day and I hope to see you next time. Take care.